Okay. I just saw something pop up for a moment there. We're good. It's all good. Okay, let's go on. We got another one that doesn't have an author page, but Thought Preserves, written by Abhain. I assume that's how you pronounce it. No idea if we had any of their work before, but if this is the first time we read about them, then so be it. This one does seem a bit more, I mean, all of them seem pretty much as you said, Howard, very medium-sized, because this one has extra stuff down here. But again, Thought Preserves. So let's go. Object class safe, special containment procedures. SCP-2103 is to be contained in a safe object locker when not in use for testing or experimentation. When so stored, SCP-2103 is to be directly contained in a small, no larger than 1 meter long any dimension, storage case suitable for transporting fragile glass-like items. This case is to remain open inside the locker and under automated surveillance at all times, specifically observed by an automated process that is able to detect motion and non-motion based visual changes, such as color changes to the observed area. Any such observed changes must be immediately reported to the research team appointed to SCP-2103. And here we have pictures of this typical quad-sized mason jar. Yeah. Due to the object's low tolerance for physical stress and heat, tests to determine SCP-2103's composition are halted indefinitely. Update, 10th 23rd 2013. As of Incident 4, no lead researcher or similar position of singular authority to be appointed to the object research team. The research team will consist of no fewer than 7 qualified research staff, all of which must be consulted when changes to SCP-2103's containment are made or decision about the testing methods used on the object are determined. In the event that all members of the research team agree unanimously on the course of such action, one team member is to be selected in immediate random fashion. Such as rolling a die, playing rock, paper, scissors between any members who have not been selected for this duty in a certain time period, predicting coin flips, etc. This team member is to adopt a documented dissenting opinion that is to be attached to the log or proposal that is chosen to be put in effect. If a member of the O5 Council wishes to countermand an action by a research team, a similar procedure involving at least 3 members of the Council must be executed. Description: SCP-2103 is visually identical to the typical American-made mason jar glass container when not displaying anomalous properties. It is able to contain 1 quart of liquid, assuming the lower hole is blocked, or equivalent volumes of any other material. Unlike typical mason jars, there is no brand name, logo, manufacturing data, or similar embossment on the glass. There is also a 25mm diameter hole in the center of the jar's bottom, with smooth edges that appear to be part of the original design and not created afterwards. The jar section is made of a material similar in transparency and density to glass, but has shown as much lower resistance to heat and physical stress than glass. I have to ask my friends a question real quick, because I realized I actually have no idea when this will happen. What time we hanging? Okay. When used to hold physical objects, SCP-2103 displays no unusual properties. Items placed into the top of the jar either remain in the jar or exit through the bottom hole if they are of proper size or makeup to do so. However, the owning entity, see following for details, may store concepts or ideas into the jar through a poorly understood process. Yeah, no problem, man, no problem. Entity can refer to an individual of animal intelligence or creator or a collection of such individuals with joint authority as noted in the following statement. For the purpose of SCP-2013, ownership by an entity is loosely defined as said entity having widely acknowledged or uncontested legal, moral, or physical responsibility and dominion over the item. The exact parameters of ownership vary somewhat from item to item, suggesting some manner of sentience or program decision-making process on the part of SCP-2103. For the most part, concepts and ideas that only affect a single individual seem the most easily owned, while larger concepts that a wide array of individuals understand are affected by, know about, or make use of fail this criterion. SCP-2013 is apparently capable of storing a single concept or idea referred to hereafter as item at a time. Why did you move? As it is difficult to quantify a number of ideas, as certain concepts have logical overlap, multiple ideas or concepts intersecting into one idea or concept is generally regarded as one, for the purpose of testing. When so stored, knowledge of the item is removed from reality. The previous owner and others cannot recall the item, and depending on the item in question, may or may not be able to realize that something is missing at all. SCP-2103 seems to have further limited reality-altering potential, as in many cases the storage of the item causes shifts in reality according as if the item had never been part of reality. That's kind of scary. Imagine putting, like, I don't know, like, if you put a smartphone in the mason jar, the idea of smartphones will just cease to exist. I mean, the fact that it like affects the world, I'm surprised that it's not. I guess because like as long as you don't put anything in it, it's not killer level. But the effect is pretty much killer level. I mean, the entire world will just change depending on what item is in it or what idea is in it. Due to Incident 4, SCP-2103 has shown an ability to store physical objects under certain circumstances. See Incident Log 4 for further details. Intentional testing to recreate these conditions is pending review but currently forbidden. That's why you don't want any of the researchers who have high-level connection to the high-level authority in the Foundation area, because they have so much information that this jar could accidentally capture. And then like that, then they all think that doesn't exist, but it's still there. So you know that's the problem. Like if somebody with the knowledge of 682 comes in, and that knowledge gets put in that jar, they all think 682 doesn't exist. So its fucking containment cell would probably not work, and it would just walk around. Just in reality. SCP-2103 was acquired by the Foundation following a series of internet postings referring to a counselor who promised his clients the ability to eliminate grief and emotionally painful events from their past. After 5 separate and unrelated accounts of SCP-2113's properties and action, clients discussing a therapy jar and an inability to recall certain events that I had posted about previously, that makes sense. Foundation observers were sent to contact the counselor under the guise of potential clients. The owner was unwilling to part with the item for various sums of money or other offered exchanges, and proved unaffected by amnestics administered by agents on site. Ooh, that's actually powerful. Immune to amnestics. After short confrontation, the subject escaped, but SCP-2103 was recovered. The previous owner of SCP-2103 remains a person of interest to the Foundation. See related report A-2103 for details, which there is no access testing log. There's no really a report for that. Let's read the testing log. For brevity, unusual or notable testing results have been highlighted in the following list, along with E-2103-T1 test 1 for baseline comparison for complete. Log of tests and results, please see document E-2103-T1 through E-2103-T157. So here we have T1, so test 1. Subject, 1 standard ballpoint pen issued to Foundation research team members. I actually thought of pen as well. So here we go. Procedure, SCP-2103 is held approximately 1 foot above a flat unoccupied table, and pen is dropped in from a height of 6 inches. Result, pen falls through jar, exiting bottom hole. Analysis, SCP-2103 shows no unusual properties in regards to physical objects. Similar tests with different items or of different composition to follow. Okay. Test 2. Subject, assistant researcher's recollection where he parked. Procedure. Research assistant handles the jar and tries to focus on the memory going into the jar. After questioning the researchers to determine success or failure, the memory will be removed through a similar process. Results. After 5 seconds, the research assistant is asked if it worked and responded that he was not certain. Assistant is questioned about where his car is parked and responds that he knows but cannot recall. Assistant shows mild distress and then is able to recall. Analysis. It is difficult to be certain if the process functioned as expected due to no indication from the jar. It is possible the research assistant simply had a momentary lapse of memory. Additional testing condition. Oh wait, this is test 12, by the way, not test 2. Pardon me. Research assistant simply had a momentary lapse of memory. Additional testing conditions specifically to measure success or failure recommended. Test 13. Subject: lead researcher Morris shoe size. Procedure: Dr. Morris writes down his shoe size and attempts to store the information in SCP-2103's 2103. After indication of success or failure, the memory will be removed by a similar process. Results: Dr. Morris takes notes as indicated, then attempts to place the idea of his shoe size into the jar. After 5 seconds, a research assistant checks the notes and finds where the indication has been. The page is blank. Dr. Morris takes a look at the page, attempts to write down what was there previously, and finds that he cannot remember. Memory retrieved afterwards, page returns to normal. Oh, okay. So the moment he got his memory back, somehow, the page itself fixed itself. Because remember, it did say the world will alter as if that information was never there. But if the information somehow comes back, then the world will switch back to normal. Analysis. As theorized by Dr. Morris, the storage of an idea removes dependent indicators from reality as well. Dr. Morris also noted that during the time his memory was stored, as soon as his attention was drawn to his feet, he felt as if his shoes were too big and too small at the same time. Review of footage after that fact indicates a slight discoloration, yellow-brown in color, of the upper opening of SCP-2013's upon activation. Interesting. So I guess the information came back to him because he actually measured his shoe again. And then found out, like, oh, that's my size. And that's where the memory snapped back into reality. Test 57. Subject: assistant researcher Jameson, memory of a dead dog. Assistant researcher Santos, memory of breakfast this morning. Procedure: Dr. Jameson will begin by placing his memory in the jar. And then Dr. Santos will do the same. Both researchers will write down some significant part of the memory in order to indicate success or failure. Memories will be retrieved in reverse order. So Dr. Jameson places memory of his dead dog in the jar, which is so weird to say, places his memories, and hands SCP-2013 over to Dr. Santos. Dr. Jameson is then questioned about his dog and cannot recall. As Dr. Santos is executing his part of the test, Dr. Jameson then begins to remember, and written indicators about the memory return to the page upon which they were written. Dr. Santos' memory is stored as expected and then retrieved upon further examination of notes made. A small handwritten note reading, "Our tour is not for Dad, please stop," in English appears near Dr. Jameson's description of his memory. Oh, so something is communicating with them. That's interesting. Analysis: SCP-2013 seems capable of only storing one item at a time, immediately ejecting the previously entered one. However, as routine study of patients seen by SCP-2013's previous owner indicate that they have not regained such memories. It is possible that the jar has an unknown method of storing multiple items, or the previous owner was using multiple such jars. The spontaneously added note is currently being analyzed for handwriting, but was written in the same ink used by Dr. Jameson. Given the possibility of sentience involved with SCP-2013's operation, the item is classified as a potential security leak, and memories, concepts, ideas, etc. relevant to the Foundation are not to be tested. Test 145. That is 145. That's a lot of tests that they made with this jar. Assistant Researcher Santos, hygiene habits. Procedure: Assistant Researcher Santos looks at the jar and thinks about placing the details of this morning hygiene routine into the jar. Ballpoint pen inserted into SCP-2013 after success or failure of attempt established. Wait a minute. Results: 1 second after test is initiated, Dr. Santos expresses extreme pain and collapses to the floor. Dr. Santos shows no signs of life and emergency medical teams are unable to revive him. Autopsy reveals multiple infection diseases and other medical issues associated with a lack of personal cleanliness. The memory from a previous test is inserted into SCP-2013, and 3 seconds later, Dr. Sanders' corpse loses the transformations gained at the start of the test, but shows no sign of life. Ooh, unmeasured moments later, estimated at 5 seconds, a piece of 8.5 feet times 11 feet or inches? Not sure. I think paper. It's probably inches. Paper is ejected from the jar with the words "Sorry, I gave back what I could." Written in English. Testing on handwritten ink and paper is ordered. Analysis. While SCP-2013 seems to be able to store concepts, there's apparently a limit to how they can be restored when ejected from the item. Testing in this vein suspended pending O5 review. Yeah, I mean you should not that. Yeah. Incident 4 report, access to level 3 personnel or above only. On the 10th, 18th, 2103. Okay. 21.3 as well. Head researchers Morris activated SCP-2013 without his knowledge, leading to a breach situation. The catalyzing event was not directly observed by reporting staff, but has been pieced together from verifiable testimony after the fact. While having lunch with several colleagues, Dr. Morris was discussing his current domestic issues with his daughter. According to testimony, Dr. Morris stated that he felt guilty because sometimes he really wished he could just stuff his pain in the ass kit into the jar for a little while. Don't do that. Due to SCP-2103's reality-altering properties, the activation event was not noticed immediately. When SCP-2013's associated paperwork was later being reviewed after testing, a research assistant notified Dr. Morris that an item from a previous test, a researcher's memories of how many paper clips he placed in a box, had been restored. This prompted the researchers to realize that the item had been activated. Senior site staff deliberated on what to do, since it was uncertain what had gone into the jar and how. After several days of preparing for various possible scenarios, SCP-2013 was activated again using the previously stored memory. The result was a return of Dr. Morris' daughter to reality, but deceased. The finer details of the corpse features eyelashes, hair, pores, clothes, threads, and so on, were blurred and indistinct. A note similar to the one encountered in test 145 was ejected. I mean, what were you thinking? You couldn't even remember her eyes? In the aftermath of Incident 4, Dr. Morris has realized that SCP-2103 is able to, over time, acknowledge an owner that is able to activate SCP-2103 without physical proximity. Returned concepts seem affected in quality by either the recollection at the time of entry or retrieval, as evidenced by the state of his daughter's return. This has led to the current containment protocols developed by Dr. Morris before his withdrawal from the SCP-2103 research team. Due to the current psychological stress on Dr. Morris and ongoing psychiatric care and marriage counseling, Dr. Morris' clearance has been reduced to level 1, with the exception of family loss compensation guidelines set for level 3 researchers, to which Dr. Morris remains entitled until further notice. I mean, what the fuck were you thinking, dude? Why were you thinking that? Wow, like around that jar? Are you dumb? Are you dense? Unbelievable. What a fucking idiot. Like, why would you? Yeah, man, your wife's gonna be so happy finding out why that even happened to begin with. Congratulations. You've played yourself. Like, first of all, like the fact that he thought about the daughter is not the problem. It's the fact that he thought about wanting to put his daughter in that jar specifically. Specifically in that jar.